Part 1. My friend showed me my boyfriend's Tinder. I thought it was fake. Okay, so I never thought I'd be one of those people who ends up writing a massive essay on Reddit about my personal drama, but here we are. I've been reading posts on here forever. You know, the ones where you think, OMG, if this happened to me, I would immediately know what to do. And then life smacks you in the face and suddenly you're like, wait, what if I don't? That's me right now. So let me set the stage. I'm 25F, my boyfriend is 26M, we've been together for almost 3 years. Let's call him Chris, not his real name. For context, we met at a friend's birthday party back in 2020, in the middle of that awkward COVID socializing phase where you're not sure if you're supposed to hug, elbow bump, or just wave from across the room. He offered me a drink, we started talking about how weird online dating was during the pandemic, and the rest is history. Or maybe history in the making, depending on how this all plays out. We moved in together last summer. Honestly, it felt kind of perfect. I'd never lived with a boyfriend before, so I was nervous, but we settled into this cute routine. Sunday grocery shopping, weekday dinners, sometimes chaotic, sometimes Pinterest level, lazy Netflix nights where he falls asleep halfway through whatever we're watching and me pretending I don't get annoyed that he snores. All the small couple-wide things. I thought we were solid. Then, last Friday night happened. I was hanging out with my best friend, Maya, 24F. We've known each other since high school. She's the type of friend who will roast you mercilessly but also show up at your door with soup if you have the flu. We were having a classic girls' night. Pajamas, wine, gossiping about work. She works in HR and always has wild stories about office drama. I was halfway through my second glass of Pinot when she suddenly goes, "Okay, so, I need to show you something, and please don't freak out. You already know where this is going." She pulls out her phone, opens Tinder. She's single and always swiping for entertainment, and shows me a profile. And my brain basically short-circuited, because staring back at me was Chris. My Chris. Same pictures I've seen a million times. One of him holding his cousin's baby. He loves that one because he thinks it makes him look dad material. One from our beach trip last year. Cropped, but definitely from my phone. And even one of him in his work suit. The bio? 26, love to travel. Foodie, looking for someone adventurous. Like, excuse me? Looking for someone adventurous? At first I laughed. Like, a weird, hysterical laugh because my immediate thought was, oh my god, someone catfished my boyfriend's photos. It had to be a fake, right? People steal pics all the time. I even said that out loud. Wow, someone really stole his whole identity. That's crazy. But Maya didn't laugh with me. She just gave me that look, the one best friends give when they know you're in denial. She goes, "Babe, the profile's active. Look, he was online like 15 minutes ago." I swear my stomach dropped so hard I thought I was going to be sick. I grabbed the phone out of her hand like a psycho, scrolled through the profile 3 times, trying to find some obvious sign that it wasn't him. But it was him. Same username he uses for his email handles. He's terrible at being creative. Same job listed, same hometown. It wasn't just stolen pictures. It was him. I must have sat there in silence for a full minute, just staring at the screen. Maya finally said, "Do you want me to swipe right to see if he matches?" And I practically shrieked no. I couldn't even wrap my head around what I was seeing, let alone come up with a strategy. Here's the thing. Up until that moment, I had zero reason to think Chris was cheating. None. He's not shady with his phone. He's affectionate, thoughtful, does the little things like bringing me coffee in bed on Saturdays. He has his flaws, leaves socks everywhere, gets weirdly competitive about Mario Kart, but he never gave me cheater vibes. If anything, he's been almost boringly reliable. So my brain went into overdrive. Maybe he made the profile years ago, and just never deleted it? Maybe Tinder glitched and reactivated it somehow? Maybe, and this was my favorite theory at the time, someone else was using his phone like his friend as a joke? I clung to every explanation that wasn't the obvious one. Maya was patient, but she finally said, "Look, you can tell yourself whatever you want, but if it were me, I'd want to know." And that's when I realized I couldn't just ignore it. I had to find out the truth. The problem was, I had no idea how to bring it up without sounding absolutely unhinged. Like, How do you casually say, "Hey, so my friend saw you on Tinder, care to explain?" At dinner. That night when I went home, Chris was already asleep on the couch with the TV still on. He looked so normal, like nothing was wrong, and I almost convinced myself to let it go. But I couldn't sleep. I kept replaying the profile in my head. The baby picture. The bio. The online 15 minutes ago. The next morning, I tried to test him a little. Over breakfast, I casually mentioned, "Oh, Maya was on Tinder last night." Dating apps are so wild. He barely reacted, just shrugged and said, "Yeah, I don't miss that mess." Which, I don't know. That felt either perfectly innocent or like a very calculated answer. I wanted to straight up grab his phone then and there, but that felt too extreme. So instead, I decided I needed more proof. Cue me turning into a low-key detective. For the past few days, I've been watching him more closely. When he texts, when he leaves the room to take a call, when he says he's going out. And the thing is, he doesn't act sketchy. He leaves his phone face up on the table, doesn't suddenly disappear, nothing. Which almost makes me feel crazier because the Tinder thing definitely happened. Maya suggested we make a fake profile to see if he swipes right. I haven't agreed yet because that feels intense. But the temptation is real. And then, yesterday, something happened that made everything way worse. I was doing laundry and found a receipt in his jeans pocket. It was from a restaurant I didn't recognize. Date: 2 weeks ago. Time: 8:30 p.m. The kicker? That was the same night he told me he was working late. So now I'm sitting here with my head spinning. Tinder profile. Restaurant receipt. Weirdly normal boyfriend. I don't know if I'm connecting dots that aren't there, or if I'm about to uncover something awful. I haven't confronted him yet. Honestly, I'm scared. What if he has a perfectly reasonable explanation and I end up looking paranoid? Or what if he doesn't, and everything I thought about us was a lie? Reddit, I don't know what to do. Do I confront him now? Do I gather more evidence? Do I swipe right on his Tinder and see what happens? All I know is that something's not adding up. And I'm terrified to find out the answer. To be continued. Part 2, update. The receipt, the Tinder, and the talk I couldn't avoid. Hi Reddit, it's me again. Opie from the "My friend showed me my boyfriend's Tinder profile" post. First of all, holy crap, I did not expect that kind of response. I posted part 1 honestly because I needed to scream into the void, and suddenly I had thousands of strangers yelling advice at me, half of you telling me to run, half of you telling me to be calm, and a solid 10% recommending I burn his clothes. Love you guys, never change. Anyway, a lot has happened since my last post. Buckle up, because I've basically been living in a detective drama mixed with a rom-com gone wrong. So, quick recap. Maya showed me Chris's Tinder. I found a suspicious restaurant receipt. My boyfriend is acting totally normal, which is either good acting or a sign that I'm spiraling for no reason. I hadn't confronted him yet. That was the state of things when I wrote part 1. Well, that didn't last long. The receipt conversation. So, the morning after I wrote that post, I decided to test the waters. Over breakfast, again with the breakfast. Why do I always pick mornings for dramatic conversations? I pulled the receipt out of my hoodie pocket and casually said, "Hey, this fell out of your jeans. Did you go to this place recently?" You guys, the look on his face. Not guilty, not panicked. Just blank confusion. He goes, "Oh yeah. That's where we went for Mark's birthday dinner." Mark is his coworker. I vaguely remembered him mentioning a birthday, so that checked out. Then he added, "Why?" And here's where my acting skills failed me, because apparently my casual tone was not casual at all. He immediately clocked that I was suspicious. His eyebrows did the little scrunch thing, and he asked, "Wait, do you think I went there with someone else?" I froze. He literally said the quiet part out loud. I tried to backpedal. No, I was just curious. But he wasn't buying it. He kept pressing like, "What's going on? You've been acting weird all week." So now I had 2 choices, keep dodging or rip the band-aid off. And because my poker face is apparently garbage, I ripped it off. I said, "Maya saw you on Tinder." Dead. Silence. His reaction. Chris stared at me like I'd just spoken another language. Then he laughed. Not a big laugh, more like a disbelieving chuckle.
What?
That's impossible. I told him no, it wasn't. She literally showed me the profile. Same pictures, same info. Even the same job title. He swore up and down that he hasn't been on Tinder in years, that he deleted it as soon as we got serious, that he doesn't even remember the password. I asked about the active 15 minutes ago part, and he looked genuinely baffled. He said, I don't know how that works. Maybe it's some old account glitching. Here's the kicker. Instead of getting defensive, he grabbed his phone and handed it to me. No hesitation. Go ahead, look, he said. And I did. I went through his apps, his messages, everything. No Tinder. No secret dating app folder. Nothing shady. And I'll admit, part of me relaxed. If he was really hiding something, would he have given me full access like that? But another part of me was screaming. The profile is real. Maya saw it. I saw it. So where the hell is it coming from? The fake profile theory. Later that night, I told Maya what happened. She wasn't convinced. She said, look, either he's lying to your face with Oscar-worthy confidence, or someone stole his photos and info and made a catfish account. Either way, it's not good. And she had a point. If it's a fake, why hasn't he noticed? His beach photo was from my phone, which means someone close to us could have screenshotted it.
Creepy.
We decided we needed to test it. Cue Operation Catfish the Catfish. Maya made a fake Tinder account, using stock photos so it wouldn't get weird, and we swiped until we found Chris's profile again. Sure enough, there it was. She swiped right. No match yet. Which means either he wasn't active at that moment, or maybe he has selective matching on, or maybe the fake profile isn't actually being used to swipe. My brain hurt from the possibilities. The slip-up. And then something happened that made me spiral all over again. 2 nights ago, Chris said he was staying late at work. Fine, normal. But around 9:30 p.m., Maya texted me a screenshot. You're not gonna like this. It was the Tinder profile. Active now. My blood ran cold. Because unless Tinder is truly haunted, that meant either Chris was lying about working late, or the catfish was online pretending to be him. And if it was the latter, then why did the timing line up so perfectly with him being away? I didn't sleep that night. The breaking point. Yesterday, I finally snapped. I couldn't keep playing detective while pretending everything was fine. I sat him down and said, I need the truth. Are you on Tinder? Are you seeing someone else? His face, you guys, I don't even know how to describe it.
Shock.
Hurt. He looked more upset that I thought he was cheating than defensive. He kept insisting he's not on Tinder, that he'd never do that to me. He even said, if you don't believe me, I'll download the app right now and try to log in. Watch.
So he did.
He re-downloaded Tinder, tried his old email. Nothing. Tried another. Still nothing. It was like his old account just vanished. But here's the thing. While he was doing that, I noticed something. When he typed in his email, Tinder auto-filled it. Which means he had logged into it on this phone at some point. Recently? Years ago? I don't know. But the fact that his phone remembered it made my stomach twist. I didn't confront him about noticing that, not yet. I just nodded and pretended to feel reassured. But I'm not. Where I'm at now. So here I am. My boyfriend swears he's innocent. His phone shows nothing. But the Tinder profile is still out there, active, mocking me. Maya's keeping tabs on it for me. Shout out to real friends who become your unpaid private investigators. I feel like I'm losing my grip on reality. Half of me believes him because he seems so genuine, and 3 years together means something, right? The other half of me is screaming that I'm ignoring the obvious. And then there's the nuclear option, swiping right on his profile myself, matching and seeing who replies. I haven't done it yet, but every time I think about it, my heart pounds. Because if it is him, then I'll know. No excuses left. I don't know what the next step is. But something's going to give soon. I can't keep living in this weird limbo of maybe he's cheating, maybe he's not. Stay tuned, Reddit. Because if I do swipe right, you're gonna want to hear what happens. To be continued. Part 3 Swipe Right, Heart Left in Shambles. Hi Reddit. Me again. At this point, my life feels like a never-ending season of you. Minus the stalking bookstore guy, hopefully. I said I might swipe right on Chris's Tinder profile and, well,
I did.
and things got even messier than I thought possible. Let me rewind. The decision. After my last post, I tried to be chill. I told myself, you don't need to swipe right. Maybe it's just some creepy catfish. Maybe it'll disappear on its own. I wanted to believe that. But every time I picked up my phone, my brain whispered, what if it IS him? By the third day, I cracked. I couldn't eat, couldn't focus at work. Even Maya said I looked like a Victorian ghost who's been haunting the office break room. So I grabbed my phone, took a deep breath, and swiped right. I wish I could say I felt brave. Honestly, I felt like I was about to throw up. The match. It matched. Instantly. No waiting, no suspense. Just a bright, cheerful, it's a match banner with Chris's face smiling at me like some kind of sick joke. I screamed. Not like a horror movie scream, but this guttural little noise that made Maya, who was on FaceTime with me at the time, nearly drop her wine glass. She goes, babe, that's your answer. It's him. And for a moment I believed it. Because how else would it match instantly? But then my brain did that thing again, scrambling for excuses. Maybe the catfish swipes right on everyone. Maybe it's a bot. Maybe Tinder auto-matches sometimes. Do they? I don't even know. Still, my hands were shaking as I typed the first message. Just a simple, hey. The waiting game. No reply. Not in an hour. Not that night. Not the next morning. I stared at the app so long, I think I gave myself eye strain. Meanwhile, Chris was making pancakes in our kitchen like nothing was wrong. He kissed me on the cheek, asked if I wanted blueberries or chocolate chips, and I wanted to scream. How are you flipping pancakes when your secret Tinder self just matched me? But I didn't. I smiled. I said blueberries. And I swallowed the storm brewing in my chest. The first reply. 2 days later, it came. From Chris on Tinder. Hey, gorgeous. You have the most amazing smile. I dropped my phone. My actual boyfriend was in the shower when it buzzed, and I nearly broke my toe scrambling to pick it back up. The message made my stomach turn. Not because it was flirtatious, but because it wasn't his style. Chris is sweet, but he's not a cheesy pickup line guy. He teases, he's sarcastic, he calls me nerd when I get excited about books. He doesn't say gorgeous, like some budget Casanova. Which left me with two terrifying options. It really isn't him. It's someone pretending badly. It is him, but he has a whole other persona when he's on Tinder. Both made me want to throw up. Operation Double Life? I decided to play along. I replied. Thanks, smiling face with smiling eyes, what are you looking for on here? Another long wait. Almost a full day. Then, something real. Someone who's adventurous and open-minded winking face. Yes, he actually used the winky face. At this point, I felt like I was texting a stranger wearing my boyfriend's skin. It didn't sound like Chris, and yet it was his profile. The creepiest part. That night, real-life Chris was snoring beside me in bed, while Tinder Chris was typing to me. Literally, the 3 dots popped up while my actual boyfriend's arm was draped over me. The message came through. You free to meet this week? I nearly screamed. Because that's when it hit me. If this was a catfish, they were close. Too close. They knew his photos, his job, his vibe. And now they wanted to meet in person. The breaking point. The next morning, I couldn't hold it in. I slammed my phone down on the table while Chris was eating cereal and said, explain this. He looked at the screen, looked at me, and then, I swear on everything, his face drained of all color. He whispered, that's my profile. I snapped. No kidding. He shook his head. No, I mean, that's literally my old profile. I made that years ago. But those pictures, that bio, I changed those after we met. I deleted it. I swear I deleted it. I asked, then why is it still active? Why did it just match with me? He grabbed the phone and started swiping through. His hands were shaking. He kept saying, this doesn't make sense. It shouldn't exist anymore. For the first time, he looked scared. Not guilty. Scared. The hacker theory. That night, we dug deeper. He pulled up his old email accounts, tried every login combo he could remember. Finally, one worked, and what we saw freaked us both out. His Tinder was still active. Last login? That very week. But the device listed wasn't his phone. It was some random Android device he doesn't own. Which means someone hacked his account. Someone had been logging in as him, using his pictures,
Talking to people.
pretending to be him, and maybe, just maybe, trying to sabotage us.
The twist.
When we realized this, I felt relief for about 5 seconds. He wasn't lying. He wasn't secretly double-lifing me. But then the bigger question hit. Who the hell is behind this? Because they didn't just randomly grab his photos. They had pictures from my phone, from our trips. Which means whoever this is, they know us. Chris thinks maybe an old friend, or someone from his past. I can't shake the feeling it's someone closer. And the creepiest part? Tinder Chris messaged me again last night. Can't wait to see you winking face. I didn't reply, but I saved the screenshot. Where we stand. Right now, Chris and I are weirdly united. It feels like we're on the same team against some invisible stalker. He swears he's never cheated, and after seeing the hacked login, I almost believe him. But my trust is still shaky. The receipts. The secrecy. The fact that I even had to go this far to get answers. We decided we're going to the police if this continues. But honestly, I don't know if they'll care about a hacked Tinder account. All I know is, this isn't over. Whoever is pretending to be him is out there, watching. And the thought of that makes my skin crawl. To be continued.